leaving the artifact. I can't believe Red Boy just died. Just like this. What is that? A double-headed pig?
熊皮，你戴罪立功，4引1对。雕鼠，你替天行道，耳朵拿去。王梅，你重振旗鼓，鼻子收好。白眼，你忍辱负重，舌头领下。
I recognize the voice.
你大义灭亲，最是不义。他的身子留给你了。
It's Alang, right? He distributed the artifacts to the demons. Oh my god, that's the golden cudgel. This must be Wukong. When did this happen?
你这老牛，真是晦气到家了。这一辈子就没选对过一次。什么时候走火？只是寂寞。什么时候入了魔？牛哥，你省些力气，咱们还要杀上天去擒那玉帝老儿。此子看着像是天兵头领。牛哥，你把我殿后，我去会他一回。
This must be a scene from the very beginning, where the great sage wreaked havoc in the heavens.
我知你不情愿，可我又何尝不是勉强？那孩子是他们逼我吃了子母河的水，借腹而生。若无那只猴子，我们本可当这一切从未发生。你我从此两地分居，各自清静。
老匹夫，你早知我身世，为何还愿做他们的狗？孩儿本不想与你恩断义绝，你若还念一丝骨肉情分，就该把那东西交付于我，放我回去给同宗报仇。
That's the revenge she wants to take.
这把扇子送与那猢狲，叫他退兵去吧。
你弟我教训了，你儿我送人了，今日你婆娘那柄扇子我也要定了。任师傅修正过，只有这条路是留给我们走的。长兄还不明白吗？
猴哥，那老牛的小娘子也被我一耙处死了。拨开一看，原来是个玉面离情。
未变过，岂宁愿沉默？我可以躲， 别笑我，笑我，请闭眼说，见我一笑而过。哦，我把心说，来骗我。
Wait, what happened?
我一直以为攒了功德，入了仙班，他们就会放过我，也会放过你们。原来我这样的人，只怕独自活着便是罪过。张兄，照顾好妻儿，我死后画的东西碰不得。
Whoa. That was incredible. I got goosebumps.
夜叉毕竟是8部战力之首，纵然铁打的筋骨死个百十回也合情理。可那小鱼儿小车子为何也打得这般狼狈？风风火火，云里雾里，你所见即是你所愿。若不是心神不安，怎会被自作聪明的孩儿所骗？急之亦不暇，缓之或自明。下次没了悟能，你还能悟空吗
？The 5 artifacts are complete. We got the banana leaf fan. Oh, I can... Not exactly sure what it means, but I guess it means I can fan enemies from when they're floating in the air. I can fan them down or something. I have so many questions. Oops. This was a very short chapter. I guess I missed a lot of stuff. Secrets, maybe? Yeah, I know you. You're the one sent by heaven to keep the monkey in check at the very beginning of Journey to the West.
为降服牛王，连玉帝都降下旨意。哪吒与他老爹，一个脚踩火轮，手拿斩妖剑、缚妖锁；一个拖着宝塔，身携照妖镜。再汇聚一干神仙，好一番恶战，这才让那牛王勉强认输。
I mean, okay, the bull demon king fought with Wukong against the heavens, but is that after? That must be before It must be at the very beginning of Journey to the West, right? Not sure. And there's Neja. The Bull Demon King is here. Okay, who's that? That's the local deity.
孙悟空大闹天宫时，登到了太上老君的炼丹炉，几块内有余火的砖落到此处，化为了火焰山。老君怪那守炉的道童失手，将他降下人间，做了火焰山土地。
Oh. Okay. This is Princess Iron Fan? She does not hold a fan though.
这是积雷山魔云洞玉面公主。
Oh.
她有100万家私，右目牛王神通广大，情愿倒陪招赘为夫。他两个过了真快活日子，直到取经一行人到来，玉面公主被8戒打杀。传说两人还生有一女，不知下落。
Oh, what? The fox girl? No way. Red boy.
那牛王倒地之时，回眸一瞬，似已看到了他最害怕的噩梦。红孩儿脚踏战车，领6剑将来取他性命。他愿这一天永不到来，却又盼着这一天快点到来。
So Princess Iron Fan was forced to drink from the mother-child river, so she got pregnant. Yeah, it's a thing from the original book, Journey to the West. And Red Boy, and that's Red Boy, how she birthed Red Boy, I guess. And Red Boy found that out and what? Wanted to take revenge on what? On the heavens? Who forced her to drink from the river? Princess Iron Fan is actually not here, depicted here. Oh, it's a fan. And Wukong. I don't get it. In the animation, it clearly showed Bull Demon King killed, like decapitated even. But at the end, it was Wukong who died. I don't know. I have no idea what it means.
取经前，孙悟空是个遍访英豪、广交鲜友的快活人。他有6个弟兄，牛魔王便是其一。他俩一个称齐天，一个称平天，可谓是性情相投。至于说分道扬镳、大打出手，都是后话。
Okay. I've got the body. Body is sad or something? Okay. Depressed. Okay. So we have reduced greatly. The stamina consumption when I accumulate stuff meter. I can gain more health. Or gain resistance against the 4 elements. I guess gain resistance sounds good. Now that we have all the 5 artifacts, we should be able to revive Wukong or something. Okay, the wind-stopping pearl will only stop the wind affecting me personally. But this one will actually get enemies who are flying. I thought the wind-stopping pearl would do that already, but maybe not. Ooh, I can make a tornado. Okay, I can make a tornado. Interesting. Alright. That's it, I guess. Shall we continue? Is this the end, actually?
好直啊，我们这是还乡，不是投胎。那老猴子好不好，都在花果山顶上等着呢，不用忙慌。咱们按他吩咐把5根收归来，只待他拿出第6根，齐了。
Oh, he's got the 6th one? Wait, there are six artifacts? I forgot how many artifacts there were.
猫脚头的亡人。哎，你瞧你瞧，我就知那老东西定是藏了什么话没讲，不然那群天上的老爷们怎的又来这山中做号了？不消说，定是因为你了。
Uh-oh.
哎，真个是难，真个是难呐。
Oh, shiz. What does that mean? For us? We're back at Flower Fruit Mountain? But the atmosphere is very tense. The heavens is back? Oh god, the heavens.
我老刘这辈子最嫌这些带着铁面的狗了。天蓬元帅在此，看谁敢放肆！
God damn it. Stop it.
你们究竟在怕？看来有些人
Ouch.
不想让我们进山呐。
Oh, if I die here, I have nowhere to respawn. Thankfully, there are no...
来多少杀多少，俺老朱的路都得死。
Ouch. Jeez. Oh, you got a shield? Okay. Oh, that did not do anything.
这要是师兄使出来，
Shit.
叫他一日一夜也找不
Oh, what? He's completely protected.
死吃人，不治死活，拿命来！
Oh, he's dead. There's no end to them.
是得罪谁了？这跟老朱的8万水兵差远了。
Shit, I wish I had my ring of fire, but then I wouldn't have immobilized. Ouch. Nice work, Pixie. Nice teamwork. Ouch! Ouch, I wanted to deflect. Oh, thank you, but... Ouch! What the?
九齿钉耙。
Thank you, Pixie. Is he still alive? Oh, there's a shrine. I can craft something. Oh my god. Did I... Am I making this out of the remains of Red Boy or something? That's a little bit... So I guess +4 is better than nothing. I don't have golden threads anymore. Okay, just as always, we're gonna read the journal entries for our last chapter. Father of Stones. One day, a tattered clothed girl stumbled into the valley of Yellowwind Ridge. Covered in wounds, she sought refuge in a cave belonging to a rock demon after noticing some living goods inside. When the Father of Stones discovered her presence, his initial intention was to expel her. However, upon witnessing her pitiable condition, he relented and granted her permission to rest for a while. To his surprise, the girl ingeniously utilized the wild fruits and game found in the cave to prepare a delectable meal. The tantalizing aroma tempted the Father of Stones, leading him to reconsider his decision and allow her to stay and continue cooking. From that point forward, the stone deity would regularly procure ingredients while the girl skillfully transformed them into delicious dishes. Thus, the demon and the girl coexisted harmoniously for a span of 2 years. During a routine day of washing clothes by the river, the girl unexpectedly encountered a woodcutter from her village. Overwhelmed with emotions upon seeing a familiar face, she couldn't contain her tears upon returning to the cave. Through her sobs, she revealed the harrowing truth that she had fled from her abusive parents, who planned to force her into a marriage with a foolish suitor in exchange for a dowry. The girl now lived in constant fear of being captured and forcibly taken back to her oppressive home. As expected, the following day at noon, a group of villagers arrived at the valley. The girl's parents, afraid of the demons, desperately pleaded at the entrance of the cave. Despite their pleas, the determined girl refused to comply with their demands. Frustrated and enraged, her parents resorted to cursing her. However, their vitriol subsided momentarily when the Father of Stones emerged from the cave and bellowed a commanding shout, causing the villagers to retreat in fear. Yet as soon as the stone deity returned inside, the villagers resumed their insults, persistently tormenting the girl. The Father of Stones decided to guard the entrance, but the girl's parents threatened to bring a dowrist to subdue the stone demons if their daughter was not returned. Fearing that her presence would bring further trouble to the stone demons, the girl made a difficult decision to quietly leave the cave during the night. Tragically, she fell off a cliff and lost her life. The following day, the stone demons discovered her lifeless body, already cold and devoid of any signs of life. Upon hearing about Lady Rakshasi of Flaming Mountains and her reputed power and compassionate nature, the stone deity made a difficult journey, carrying the girl's lifeless body to seek her help. Lady Rakshasi, I think, is Princess Ironfan. However, Princess Ironfan, with her deep understanding of life and death, examined the girl's body and came to a somber conclusion. She expressed that attempting to revive her would be futile. Even if she were forcibly brought back to life, she would be nothing more than a soulless shell, devoid of the essence that made her who she was. Unwilling to give up, the stone deity waited on a mountain path of the flaming mountains every day with the girl's body, hoping to gain Rakshasi's sympathy. Even as the girl's flesh turned to bones, he did not abandon his hope. Oh my god, the skeleton that he was holding, it was the little girl's. Oh my god, and here I was assuming this guy killed a person, but instead no, he's kind of projecting her. Oh my god, what? I feel so bad now. Why did I even kill him? Why did he even attack me? I don't know. Quick as fire, fast as wind. In bygone days, there were two ruffians wandering the city, always spending their nights beneath the same section of the city wall, thus forming a close bond. With no attachments or concerns, they acted recklessly and without restraint. One day, they accidentally killed a wealthy young master during their robbery, leading to their joint sentencing to death by beheading. While imprisoned, one ruffian said to the other, "We've had a carefree life and we must die. If we must die, so be it. It's a pity we won't be able to enjoy ourselves together anymore." That sounds slightly sexual. The other ruffian replied, "If you wish to continue our fun together, it's not impossible. I am a descendant of the falling headland and possess some tricks." He then whispered a set of skills into the companion's ear. Come autumn, the two were beheaded in a public square. As the executioners sprayed wine and swung his blade, their heads fell to the ground, but suddenly flew up into the air, much to the astonishment and cheers of the onlookers. Afterwards, the two heads flew into the mountains, became demons, one named Quick as Fire and the other Fast as Wind. A gay couple who had some interesting skills. Flint Chief. When it comes to who spoiled Red Boy the most in Flame Mountains, it has to be the Keeper, the local deity. However, Red Boy didn't always appreciate it, much like his parents, the Bull King and Lady Rakshasi, who took the Keeper's efforts for granted. After all, he was not one of the family, and regardless of how much effort he put in, to others, he was still an outsider. One day, Red Boy demanded to have a flint vanguard, modeled after the stone vanguard of Yellowwind Ridge. The Bull King and Princess Ironfan did not favor the plan, but the Keeper immediately agreed. Fearing that just a stone vanguard wouldn't be enough to entertain Red Boy, he went ahead and created more rock demons. Among them was a giant rock demon with arms and legs strong enough to support its massive body. This giant rock demon was more formidable than the others, usually lying dormant in the river of fire. It would only emerge when summoned by its master or when a powerful enemy intruded. Red Boy didn't like these rock demons that the Keeper had created without his permission, and mostly visited only the Flint Vanguard. Since Red Boy lived with Princess Ironfan in the Emerald Hall, the Keeper stationed these rock demons in Furnace Valley. Later, when Red Boy besieged Flaming Mountains, these rock demons from the River of Fire proved to be quite helpful, inevitably leading to some speculation over the Keeper himself. You have the yin-yang fish. In the South Sea, there's a fish over 6 meters long. Its dorsal fin resembles a blade and can change color at will, whether white or black. This fish can fly into the sky, creating massive winds and waves as tall as mountains. Each time this fish appears, the village suffers from a plague. Once a fisherman returning from his catch encountered an elderly man who could barely walk. Despite his frailty, the old man carried a heavy, tattered bundle filled with scrolls. Exhausted and without money to pay for a boat ride, he struggled along the riverbank. The kind-hearted fisherman, seeing the old man's plight, offered him a free ride across the river and even gave him 2 fresh fish for a meal. Grateful, the old man performed a divination on the spot and said, "In a few days, a young man wearing a bamboo hat and white robes will pass by. Under no circumstances should you let him come to your village. On the day he arrives, do not conduct any business on the river or you will lose your life." After delivering these cryptic words, the old man vanished from the boat, leaving the fisherman both astonished and frightened. Yet he etched the old man's warning deep into his heart. A few days later, while fishing, he indeed saw a man on the riverbank who matched the old man's description exactly. The man, claiming to be weary from his travels, asked the fisherman if he could take him to the nearby fishing village to rest. The fisherman initially wanted to refuse, but then decided to take the man on a neighboring village downstream instead. After dropping the man off, the fisherman docked his boat and dared not return to the river. Oh my god, so he doomed the other village? This is crazy, man. At that moment, the man pulled a black bowl from his sleeve and threw it into the river. As soon as the bowl hit the water, a massive pitch-black fish emerged, and a fierce storm erupted with waves surging sky-high. The fisherman fled without looking back. Sometime later, he heard that a severe plague had struck the neighboring village, killing many people. Initially feeling a sense of relief, he soon learned that refugees from the neighboring village had brought the plague to his own village, and they too were not spared. What goes around comes around, I guess. Red Boy. For many years, Red Boy had been having the same nightmare. In his childhood, he shared this nightmare with his mother. "Mother, there were so many people, they were all coming to kill me." "My dear, once you fall asleep again, you forget about it by tomorrow." Yeah, the boy was excited. "But I am very powerful. I defeated monks as tall as mountains, strange birds and fire-breathing statues. I am not afraid of them at all." "Oh, how brave you are, my dear," he continued. "I dreamt that I grew up into an adult with long horns on my head and long spikes on my hands. I could kill a bunch of bad people at once, but there were too many of them. I couldn't kill them all. Later, some strange people I had never seen before came. They hung quietly in the sky, not coming down, just silently watching me from above." His mother pulled him into her arms. "If that day ever comes, your father and I will go to the sky with you and kill them all." "Will we die?" "I dreamt that they killed me and I turned into a red lotus flower. And mother, you picked this lotus flower and I became your child again." ... He continued to chatter. "Mother, if I die, would you be willing to give birth to me again? Don't you ever say this again." Yeah, Princess Ironfan, like in the very last animation ending, she is said that the heaven forced her to bear this child by making her drink from the childbearing water, or the child mother river. I think that's a fabrication. This is not at all in the original story, Journey to the West, I don't think, because if I remember correctly, Princess Ironfan and the Bull Demon King all loved Red Boy so much that because of this incident, they opposed Sun Wukong together. It's just so this altercation of Red Boy's history, I don't know how to feel about this. They're just saying Red Boy is not the son of Bull Demon King sounds unnatural to me, because this is not how I know the story. Yaksha King. This boss was cool as fuck. The raging flames had reached the Golden Hall, and the sounds of battle outside were deafening, though they were muffled within. The king, gravely wounded, sat amidst the wreckage, holding a recently deceased young boy in his arms. A figure stood behind the curtain, sighing. "Such devastation. Don't you see? It's all because of you." The king remained silent. Whether the Yaksha royal lineage continues or ends depends entirely on your decision today. The king couldn't help but glance around the golden hall, still able to see traces of its former glory. They say Yakshas are the most resolute, yet you, as their king, are hesitant and indecisive. The king gently stroked his son's face, the body still warm. He wished so dearly that the boy could see the vast and beautiful world. If you have even a shred of lingering desire, why not try my method? The unattainable wish in your heart, I will take care of it for you. As a king, was he not even allowed to die on the battlefield? The king closed his eyes. Finally he opened them and said slowly, "Since there is no salvation, I will leave me and my son at your disposal." "Splendid! It's not too late to understand it now." The figure clapped, and a white-clad Taoist emerged from behind. The Taoist approached the Yaksha king, bowed, then sat cross-legged on the ground. He extended his hands above the boy's head and began to chant softly. Before long, a small blood-red lotus flower emerged slowly from the boy's forehead, crystal clear and vibrant. The Taoist carefully plucked the lotus and placed it into a bowl he carried. The Yaksha king fixed his unblinking gaze intently at the lotus. The figure said, "This red lotus is the essence of your son's soul. To ensure it does not dissipate before successful reincarnation, we will need your life and the water from the river of childbearing." The Yaksha king raised his arm, taking one last look at the red lotus. "I will do it myself." There were sounds of battle outside. The king was gravely wounded, and his young boy, his child, just died. And to protect the life of the child, he sacrificed himself and let the child turn into a red lotus, which then was planted into Princess Iron Fan or something. I dreamt that they killed me and I turned into a red lotus flower. They killed me. Who is they? People hanging quietly in the sky, not coming down, just silently watching. People in the sky, like people from the heavens? From the heavenly court, they killed the Yakshas. And the Yaksha king sacrificed his life to turn his dead son into a red lotus flower. But why would the heavenly court then implant the red lotus into Princess Ironfan? If they were the one who killed Red Boy, like the Yaksha boy in the first place, why would they want to resurrect him again? Okay. Keeper of the Flaming Mountains. The galaxy was clear and the sky was spotless. That night, a young Taoist boy sat by the furnace, fanning the fire. Feeling drowsy, he was about to sneak in a nap when he suddenly heard a soft laugh. Looking up, he saw his master standing at the door with a girl, watching him doze off. He quickly straightened his clothes and stood up to apologize. Contrary to his usual stern demeanor, the master did not scold him. Instead, he called the boy over and briefly introduced the newcomer, instructing them to guard the furnace together from now on. Finally, he said lightly, "She is your senior. You may call her Rakshasi, Princess Ironfan." At first, the young Taoist boy was delighted to have a companion, but upon hearing that the newcomer was a senior, he felt displeased. As soon as the master left, he decided to make things difficult for her. Oh yeah, like in back in the days, the master apprentice hierarchy, whoever becomes disciple first would be the senior. So to name the newcomer as senior is quite unorthodox. Handing her the fan, he said, "The furnace is now your responsibility. It's only right that the older one does the work, isn't it, my senior?" The girl did not argue and simply smiled. "Indeed, my junior, you may go rest." The next day, when the master ascended the altar, the girl approached. The young Taoist boy thought she was going to complain, but instead she said, "Master, as a new disciple, it is only right that I fan the fire. However, the fan my junior gave me is a bit small and not very handy." The master glanced at the young Taoist boy and smiled. "If that's the case, I'll make a new one for you. You may as well wield it as a nice vessel." The young Taoist boy had not expected his usually strict master to be so kind to the girl. Gradually, he began to see her in a new light. From then on, they practiced together. He discovered that the girl was adept in both Buddhist and Taoist teachings. No matter what scripture the master taught, she could always engage in discussion, whereas he often struggled to keep up, both in speech and thought. Later, when the furnace was kicked over, he was severely punished by the master. While other disciples looked on coldly, it was only this senior who volunteered to descend to the mortal realm to help him. In the mortal realm, he learned that his senior had her own cave dwelling and a group of loyal followers. The master had even granted her the title of Earthly Immortal as compensation. Sometime later, the master arranged for her to marry a demon king in the mortal realm. Though he felt a bit melancholic, he understood that he was ultimately unworthy of her, no matter how many dirty tasks he had done for the master. In the master's eyes, he would never be a match for her. My god, he was quite lovesick, wasn't he? Ping Ping. After delivering her homework to her mother, Ping Ping went to the Height of Ember. Her brother had asked her to meet him there, saying he had something important to discuss. Oh, by the way, Ping Ping also is a new character. She does not appear in the Journal of the West, I don't think. But, I mean, it makes sense. The Bull King's relationship with his wife, Princess Ironfan, was complicated, and he had a concubine, Princess Jade Countenance, and Ping Ping is supposedly her daughter. When she arrived, she saw Red Boy standing with his hands on his hips, directing quickest fire and fastest wind to burn the bull demons to flee as his way of training them. Amused at the scene, he laughed loudly and boisterously. "Brother," Ping Ping called softly. Ever since Red Boy returned from Guan Yin's tutelage, she felt he had changed. Every time she spoke to him, a subtle fear tugged at her heart. Oh yeah, after Journey to the West, after Sun Wukong and his crew battled Red Boy, he was actually sent to Guan Yin for discipline, to be disciplined. Upon seeing her arrival, Red Boy waved to a halt to training and turned to her. "Ping Ping, let's engage in a game," he proposed. "You will run, and I shall chase you. Let us see if I can catch you before an incense stick burns out." In the past, Ping Ping would transform into a little fox, leaping through rocks and crevices, always having the upper hand. Yet this time, Red Boy shattered her hiding rocks with a single spear thrust, scorched her standing dead wood with a breath of fire, and flew over the cliffs she jumped across as a red cloud. In less than half the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Red Boy effortlessly caught her and sighed, "Mother's teachings are still too gentle." Seeing his sister's gloomy face, Red Boy took her to rest by the cliff in the Furnace Valley. To cheer her up, he twirled his fire point for her entertainment. Fire point? Seeing his little sister clapping and cheering, Red Boy asked, "How do you think my skills compare to father's?" Uh-oh. Ping Ping couldn't answer. She had never dared to make such a comparison. She took out the fire dates her mother had rewarded her and shared them with Red Boy, changing the subject to talk about anecdotes in the mountains. Seeing this, Red Boy didn't press further and responded perfunctorily. Ping Ping cautiously said, "Brother, you and I have always been the closest. If you have something on your mind, you can tell me." It's not easy for our family to be reunited. I just want to live peacefully in these mountains away from the worldly strife. Gazing at the burning clouds, Red Boy said, Sister, you should see more of the outside world. There's no such thing as living away from worldly strife. It's just self-deception of losers. Ping Ping wanted to ask him who he was competing with and why he had to compete, but before she could speak, she felt a blow to the back of her neck and fainted. Oh wow. Yeah, at this point Red Bull already found out about his nature, I suppose. He wasn't too happy about it. Princess Iron Fan. Mount Lingsan, Vulture Peak before the Thunderclap Temple. Rakshasi clasped her intertwined hands tightly, steadying her trembling body, striving to appear calm and serene. She had traveled to many places on this journey, domains of the demon kings she befriended in the mortal realm, abodes of the gods she met in the celestial realm, the immortal islands on the sea, and even the underworld. She had visited them all. She also went to the Tushita Palace to seek advice from her master, yet the latter had only offered a heartfelt persuasion. I ordered you to raise a child, but I did not ask you to be a true mother. Let the boy stir his trouble. As long as you and your husband stay out of it, you will be safe. Her master's words left her in despair. She knew that no protection would the flaming mountains receive. 'Tis was their destiny ordained. But she knew her son all too well, reckless and wild, vengeful and unforgiving. After all the suffering he had endured over the years, unless he could vent his anger, the only way to resolve the siege of flaming mountains would be to break his spine. Thus she came here for revenge. How to exact it, she had no idea, her mind a blank void. Lady Rakshasi, the master summons you inside. Ananda stood at the temple door, his voice as gentle as ever. Oh, his. It's a man. She straightened her back, gripping the palm leaf fan tightly in her hand, and hoarsely replied, Thank you, Venerable. She walked into the hall, flanked by the 8 great Vajras and 500 Arhats. She seemed to hear faint laughter, but all she saw in her peripheral vision were solemn and dignified figures. Reaching the base of the lotus throne, she knelt with her head held high, clutching the fan tightly. Rakshasi, what brings you here to seek an audience with me? She remained silent, gripping the fan with all her might, ready to unleash its divine wind at any moment. The hall was deathly quiet. All eyes were on her. She could feel the Vajras glaring with their angry eyes, the Arhats staring with their wrathful gazes, and all the divine figures transforming into fierce visages. She lowered her head. I greet you on behalf of my master. A booming laughter echoed, deafening. Within that laughter she heard the cries of an infant, the innocent giggles of a child, the roars of an adolescent, and a cycle of blooming and withering flowers, the growth of grass and the flight of orioles over millennia. She heard the embers extinguishing in the flaming mountains. Wait, what is the scene? Mount Lingsan before Thunderclap Temple? So where the Buddha resides, probably? That is the destination of the journey to the west. So she went there begging for something. Before she arrived at the Thunderclap Temple, she also went to seek advice from her master, but he did not offer any protection. She was looking for protection. She came to the Thunderclap Temple for revenge. Okay, wow. Why? Was it the Thunderclap Temple who forced her to drink from the childbearing river What about the embers extinguishing in the flaming mountains? No idea what this is. This is probably a metaphor for something. Like her dignity. The embers are her dignity, extinguishing in the flaming mountains. Bull Demon King. In days of yore, the Bull King converted to Buddhism, and within a century completed his practice and returned to the Flame Mountains. Overjoyed, Rakshasi and Ping Ping loudly celebrated his return and hosted a grand banquet in his honor. During the banquet, the keeper of the Flaming Mountains asked, "My king, why did you return so hastily?" The king replied, "An old friend with whom I had some misunderstandings in the past helped me achieve a great merit." The Bodhisattva then pleaded with the Buddha on my behalf, granting me the grace to return. From now on, I will stay in the mountain and go nowhere else. An old friend with misunderstandings? Could it be the Monkey King? From that day on, the Bull King's temperament changed drastically. His former wild and unrestrained nature was no longer seen. He declined all invitations, ceased his travels, and instead stayed in Flame Mountains, helping Princess Ironfan with household affairs and training the bull soldiers, living a very peaceful life. Several decades later, Red Boy received instructions from the Bodhisattva and returned to Flame Mountains to serve his parents. The family of four enjoyed a period of peace. However, Princess Ironfan gradually noticed something unusual about the Bull King. He became increasingly thin, his face showing signs of aging, and he ate less, as if weighed down by heavy worries. More strangely, the Bull King sometimes transformed into his original form, retreating to the mountain peaks, retching. Wait, what? The furry celestial maiden serving Rakshasi said, "The king might be suffering from a rare bovine illness." The fox maiden serving Ping Ping said, "The king, aware of his past sins, might have learned an ascetic practice in Mount Lingsan and is now undergoing it." The keeper of Flaming Mountain said, "The king's mind is trapped in the past, intertwines with his old friend, unable to break free. Those past events have become an invisible shackles, and from which he never escapes." Wow. Yeah, he's got it on point, I think, the keeper of the Flaming Mountains. Okay, wow, that's that.